Okay, so my name is Ben. I play StarCraft 2. Uh, I am. My name is Selavi in StarCraft 2. Right now, I am a platinum player, but I am quite the intellectual. The reason why I can speak is because I actually think at a higher level than I can play. That's unfortunate right now, but that's just because I can't play too often. Okay, but I can think at that level. Now, what I'm here to do is everything you've ever learned or known about StarCraft 2 through anybody you've played, be it Day 9, any of those people that like to teach you, they are all incorrect. Okay. Reason being is, first off, let me tell you why or what they do. What they do is they have this thing called the early game, the middle game, and the late game. These are all things that can only not really decide, but they only apply to the after results of a match. To put them into a game and just assume that they're going to happen the same every time is poo-poo caca. Okay. That's basically what I'm here to disprove. And before I get started, let me explain one thing to you. There is the random player, and then there is the single player. The single player being like a person that only knows one race. Okay, random players have a lot more to learn. They have to understand 3 variations of a line that I'm about to show you. Did I say 3? They have to understand like 9 variations of a line that I'm about to show you, whereas everybody else only needs to understand 3. Okay, that's as a technical in advance as I am going to get today. I'll break it down even more if people are interested. But as is, I just want to start very, very simple. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is assume that you're a Protoss player. Okay, because a lot of people can relate to Protoss. It's a very simple, straightforward to understand race. And everything you need comes from pretty much one building. Okay. So, Protoss. Okay, now this race, you can fight a Protoss, a Zerg, a Terran. Okay, so you have 3 outcomes. Okay. Now, that is basically you have a line. Okay, the line goes from start to wherever the game ends. Okay, it doesn't do this. It doesn't go mid or early, late, or early, mid, and late game. It does not do that at all. It just does this. Okay, the reason why this is important is because a line can go and then at the 7-minute marker, bam. Or a line can go and 50 minutes later, finally it's over. You don't know where it's gonna go. Okay, that's why the whole structure of one or early, mid, and late is caca. It's because you're like, okay, what you want to do is build 8 units and then like 40 drones, and then 8 units and like 10 drones, and then blah blah blah, and then blah blah blah. You can never truly depend on that. Whereas my strategy, you can always depend on it. Okay, so basically, what happens is you're Protoss. Okay, so you're Protoss and you're going against, let's say, versus a Zerg. Okay, now your line starts. Sorry, I just ate, so. Your line starts, okay, you're building workers, you're just chilling, okay. At some point, you scout. Now remember this, because this is important. You're not scouting just to scout. Some people think you scout just to know where they are, right? You don't just do that. There's a lot of things you got to find out with scouting, such as, is he being aggressive, or is he being economical? Okay, this is why a lot of pros will count workers. Is they don't care what the hell the buildings are early on. They want to know what the worker count is. Because if there's not a lot of workers, chances are it's a lot of fighters on the way. Okay, so that's one variable right there. Okay, now What happens is your line goes to a certain degree. You know, after scouting, is he being aggressive or is he being economical? Now here you must decide. Okay, so he is being economical, zerg. He fast expanded. Okay, so now your line goes down to here. Okay, so this is the course of what your opponent is doing. Okay, so you're going standard, and now he's expanding. So he's going towards economical, correct? Correct. Okay. Now this is where you decide what you're going to do about it. You could have very well seen, like in your head, you knew I'm a scrub, so I'm just going to forgate everybody that I see. So immediately, you're just trying to find out where he is, and you're just going to forgate, right? So that's aggressive. Okay, so that's your reaction. Of course, a good player is going to be like, he's going to scout too, and he's going to expand, and he's going to turn his expansion into units, right? A good player will be ready for it, okay? If he's bad, he may just make workers and more so, right? So that's why you don't just kind of do that, okay? So that's lesson one. And this is, I haven't even done anything, and already I've disproven the whole all-in bullshit, okay? Of course, you can catch him off guard, but again, that's a concept that you do not want to rely on, is catching somebody off guard, okay? You want to be good, and you want to get good. That's what you want to do, okay? So he's expanding. So what are you going to do now that you've confirmed that he's expanding? You can either A, be aggressive, or B, expand. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of Protoss, even a lot of pros, like pros do the same thing I said about the Zerg, but even pros for Protoss, they've invented this thing called Forge, Fast, Expand. And what they'll do is just blindly, they'll blindly expand as well, right? So that's where your guys' line will go, right? They'll just meet up right there, because you're doing the exact same thing. Okay, so this is the line concept. Okay, this is what I'm trying to depict here. Now, variations will occur, such as you might not attack or expand. You may very well find him and attack because you see him expanding first, right? So he puts a layer down without a spawning pool. So you send in 2 zealots and you can do a lot of damage, right? And you may fuck him up. But just notice that I said ask yourself what is going on. Okay, so let's just assume that you fast expand and he fast expand. Okay, so now you're both here. Now what happens is your line goes forward some, because there's only so much you can do off of that. Okay, but here you must ask yourself, what, actually I used the wrong code to start. What is he doing? Like, you're both going to be asking yourself this question a lot. What is he doing? Okay. And then you react off of what you see and what you're going to do. Okay. So again, variations occur. So the Zerg may very well go for a third. A lot of Zergs are inclined to go for a third. A lot of Protoss at this point will go for 7 gate. Right? And that's basic concepts, but the point is I'm graphing it. Okay, graphing it to the point where you're always noticing the what ifs. You should always see what is going on, and you got to see where the lines differentiate so that you can react. Because if you react late, for example, if you're expanding. Let's go back more actually. So if you decide to expand and you see him put his layer down, but he makes like 1,000 zerglings, right? He's up here. Well, guess what happens to your line? It now has to backtrack a little bit, and now you're building units. But guess what? You've fallen behind, right? You're getting the same progress. What you did was going to do the same thing his did, but you had to backtrack because he made zerglings. So now your line is cut back, okay? So now he is here, right? So now you're behind, all right? And then he's going to continue with the aggression, and so are you, and basically it's just going to escalate. Like, while this is going on, he could very much go economy for a little bit. You'll catch up, but now his lines, instead of being 100%, they're now 125% because he has a little more economy. And you, because you went to economy, you're at 75%, and now you're at like 90%. So you caught up a little bit, but he pulled ahead a lot of bit. All right. So that's what's going on here, and these are where these lines occur. And so, with knowing this, you need to always stop and ask yourself, what is he doing? Like in this situation, that doesn't come up too often because you know what's going on, and he's attacking you, and you're basically your mid to late game happened in the first 5 minute marker in here somewhere, right? This is where your number 2 would be with day 9's example. But the problem is, if you went number 1 and you're like, okay, get 20 drones. If you went 20 drones and then this zerg just happened to attack right before phase 2 kicked in, you lost. Period. Like, you've lost. So you need to always do situations like this. Now, okay, notice how simple this concept is. Notice how simple this concept is, okay? The variations are as far as the meta game. This is why I despise the meta game. It's because the meta game says that the game will go to here and it's going to be the same thing every damn time. This is the true meta game, okay? Where he's going to expand, you're going to expand. He's going to expand, you're going to expand. And then this is where the differences happen, right? But the meta game is no matter what happens, we're going to do this. Or it could be like super Korean metagame where we're going to both have 8 bases before we even look at each other. That's metagame, right? That doesn't happen a lot of the time. Personally, to me, the metagame stops at about 13 drones. Sometimes it should stop about 10. That's metagame because you don't know what the hell they're going to do. There's a lot of scrubs out there that go all in. This is why personally I see gold, platinum, and diamond is harder than grandmasters because the metagame is so fucking up here that all this shit doesn't matter. But this is where a lot of the bullcrap happens because you know what to expect. It's just your ability that depicts that, right? You don't need to know a lot. And this is where masters lose, right? But lately, the metagame from going to like this is shrinking down and shrinking down and shrinking down. Yeah, so that's basically that. And this has been my example of the line to disprove everything else you've ever heard. If you have opinions, let me know. I will be uploading this to YouTube and my Twitch, which is a lot of zealots, and that's my Twitch. And then my YouTube is Ninja on a Ninja, and I'm gonna explain that real fast too. Ninja on the Ninja is basically I love ninjas, so I like to call myself a ninja. There you go. And I drive a Kawasaki Ninja, so Ninja on a Ninja. Okay, so there you go. Well, like I said, there's that. I could get more into it, but I want to keep this very nice and simple to understand. Okay, so one last overcast real fast. Standard, see what's going on, both expanded. See this? They're both expanded. Okay, so you're both working on your economy. Your economy is about maxed. What's going on? You know, even before that, you might ask yourself, even before that, what's going on? What's going on? You want to keep tabs. The sacrificial overlord comes into play, you know? All that stuff. You just need to know what is going on. And it'll go on and go on and go on, and then you'll have situations like this where now there's combat. And like I was talking about the metagame and how like you guys will have like 3 bases each before this happens. Like this may never will happen, you know. So that's why I hate metagame. But yeah, and also day 9's 1, 2, 3 thing. That's very metagame reliant as well, because you don't know what the hell. You don't know if the step 3 is ever gonna come to whatever the hell that word is, fruition, whatever. Anyways, that's my example. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Comment, rate, subscribe, whatever the hell those bastards say. And have a good day, guys. Take care.